Miniemies, I'm Jasmine Emerald, and today I'm going to be talking about something that I've kind of been somewhat binge watching. A couple of months ago, I actually came across a BBL video. It was kind of like a review experience, and then you know how the YouTube algorithm is. It just started recommending me more BBL videos with different women sharing their experiences. I kind of wanted to talk about it because it was just so much to unpack with watching them. I know the first thing that was concerning was just the idea that these are so freaking painful. Like, you know, I've heard so many different people talk about BBLs and how painful they were, but just seeing the process and the experience with, you know, the amount of detail that was shared in the videos, I was just like, girl, I don't know. I just don't, you know, I understand that people may want to change their bodies, but it was just so much within watching it, because a lot of these women, you know, some of them were crying, some of them were just, you could tell they were in excruciating pain. I guess I'm just sitting here thinking, like, you know, you don't want to be in people's business, but at the same time, when people put business on the internet, it kind of makes you wonder what really possessed you or motivated you to go this route and get this type of plastic surgery. You know, I'm not knocking plastic surgery, but when it comes to BBLs, I've also read so many different articles and different social media shares about people expressing that they knew people who passed away from their BBL surgeries where they didn't have a good experience and the BBL didn't take, or something happened where something went wrong, you know? It was just very, I don't even know how to process it, because again, I became kind of curious to understand, I guess, I don't know, it's just the idea that people want to do something that's this dangerous, even though a lot of times the results don't last long, or they could be horrible. That was another issue that I noticed across multiple of these videos. A lot of the women weren't satisfied with their transformations. They had issues with certain things. Some of the things that they didn't like about their bodies were not altered the way that they wanted them to be. Some things were worse to them, where it didn't look natural at all. I know I personally would be super freaking mad if I got an expensive surgery like that done and then it wasn't what I wanted, you know, because recently I think I found out that you can actually, you know, take out loans to get BBLs, which was kind of surprising to me, because I'm thinking people are literally saving up to get BBLs, or like people are using college refund checks or something, you know? But no, like, I didn't realize you could actually potentially take loans out, and people are probably paying monthly to pay off their BBL surgery. And it's just very interesting to me that it's just very bewildering that people go, I guess, through all of these different changes, you know, especially when it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very, you might not get the results you want. And it seems like way more cons than pros when I was watching these videos. Another thing that I noticed was that some of the women also said that BBLs, you know, getting them done and then the way their bodies were shaped, they noticed that a lot of people weren't taking them seriously, which, I don't know, I always think it's so weird when people don't take someone seriously because of the way their body is shaped. It's like, I mean, it's a body, you can't, how does the perception of someone being serious where you can like understand them and communicate with them as adults, how does their body figure into that? But I do know that some people are like that, where they might particularly look at women as objects when they get their BBLs, or, I mean, even women who are natural, there are so many men, shoot, I mean, in general, just as women in general, there are so many women who are oogled, and men look at them as objects when that's inappropriate. It's like we should be changing the way these men think, but I mean, how can you? It's like you would have to look at their parents like, this is the way you treat women, this is the way you should perceive women, this is the way you should respect women. But unfortunately, I don't know. I don't think that'll probably ever change, unfortunately. A lot of women ended up having to get more than one BBL, which I'm just like, girl, so you telling me you paid for 2 and potentially 3, even more than that? And some of them ended up getting another BBL because the first one, they either didn't like what they got, and they had to go to a different doctor. The second one was kind of, one thing about BBLs I also learned is that you end up, if you don't exercise or do the maintenance within having it, you might end up having to get another one. Another thing that came to mind too, within watching these videos, a lot of the women seem to be very young, like under 26 years old. A decent amount of them didn't have kids, which I was kind of concerned about within watching these videos, because I'm kind of just looking at it. All I'm thinking is what's going to happen if you do choose to have kids? How is your body going to react to that? Will you end up having to get a whole new one? It was just so many questions I had, because I do feel like doctors who do plastic surgeries of any sort, unless it's something that's very helpful, like if someone needs to get a breast reduction or something like that, I do believe that it should kind of be limitations on certain things that you can get done, especially when it comes to your full body, because I don't know, I'm just thinking, if you do have kids, it would potentially be a waste, I guess, depending on what your reasoning is for having the BBL, maybe. Like, what do y'all think about getting BBLs? Because I personally would never get one. For one, I'm scary. 2, I can't really see myself wanting to change anything substantially. I mean, don't get me wrong, it'd be cool to have a bigger butt, you know what I'm saying? But I'm kind of just like, I'm good on that, But what do y'all think about it? A lot of people are saying that BBLs are over. For me, I do feel like that is kind of a thing nowadays, especially with how Kim Kardashian pretty much, removed hers. I'm not going to say she was the trendsetter, but, I do feel like there have been more and more women over the years, and I do think that a lot of influencers that were on Instagram and even on YouTube that had grown in influence and that shared their experience of getting plastic surgery or BBLs, I do feel like influencers did cause the increase of BBLs. I'm not really sure if a lot of people are starting to stop getting them, but it's just really interesting to think about so many people wanting to have them. The other thing is that when it comes to the pros and cons of BBLs, again, to me it just seems like it's more cons. You have to think about the expense. Shoot, some people could be paying off a BBL for years if they take out a loan and don't pay it off flat. You have to worry about where you're actually getting it done from. Is it a safe, healthy place? Because sometimes places have misinformation where they have these false claims and false reviews. You have to worry about if you're going to have to get it done again and spend even more money. or just in general, you might have to get it done again if your body, as you grow and get older, you might end up having to get another one. Or if you have kids, that could also impact you. It just seems like it's so many more cons than pros, which I don't know. I'm just, to me, I'm a person who's cheap, first of all. So when it comes to stuff like plastic surgery, I mean, if you can invest in it, I'm like, go ahead, do what you want. It's your body, it's your life. But at the same time, it just seems like it's just too freaking costly for so little reward, But those are just my thoughts on watching BBL videos. What do you guys think about them? What are your thoughts about them? Like, would you get one? Do you know somebody who got one? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'm always curious just about different things in general. But this plastic surgery really had me kind of baffled that people were putting their bodies through so much to gain potentially not what they wanted. But yeah, I'll be back with another video really soon. Check out my other videos, which will be somewhere right here. And I'll see you guys. Bye.